But yeah, I don't know. You never know, I guess.
Ooh, I got a good question for you. For both of y'all, matter of fact.
All right.
Does it matter? Let me think about what I want to ask right before I say it. If your woman wanted you to work at home and watch the kids, would you do it? Or would you be okay with that? Why or why not?
I would be okay with it if it made financial sense.
Okay, so how much more would she have to make more than you?
It would just have to, like, if her job is gonna pay, is gonna do the house. Hold on, let me see. I'm gonna cut all that shit out. If me staying at home was more cost efficient than us getting a babysitter or a daycare and stuff like that, if that made more sense, and her job had the benefits that would match what we needed for a family, then absolutely, and that's the choice that I think a family has to make, as opposed to just saying, the male's going back to work. Like, which job is going to suit your needs if you do need somebody to stay at home and watch the kids. I actually had a professor in college. He's my personal finance professor. Him and another professor wrote a book, and it was like $30 was the cost of the textbook, because how professors will write their own textbooks and stuff. Right. But it really did give like solid like financial advice in terms of like trying to get a car, refinancing a car, like things about taxes.
His name? Give him a shout out real quick.
Honestly, I don't remember his name, but I'll tell you later because I have his book at my house. Like, I bring that with me. I've brought that with me everywhere I've moved. But with his family, in his family situation, I believe his wife was a professor or did something else as well. He was a stay-at-home dad for years.
As a professor?
No, he wasn't even a professor. He was a professor, but he took like time out. Like, he literally just stayed at home, went and got the groceries, took care of the kids. Took them to their practices and whatever, and made their schedule like work. So I think it's important for people to understand that that's not necessarily a gender role. That's something that, to me at least, that I feel like is just is something you need to do based off of the needs of your family. So, yeah.
I think that's golden. What he said was what works best for the family. That's key. As long as, you're using communication at all times, and you talk things through, and you look at it from a financial standpoint, if that is what makes the most sense, you're still provided, I guess, the dental, the health, all that stuff, everything just aligns almost perfectly. There is absolutely nothing wrong with being a stay-at-home dad. Just vice versa. Stay-at-home dad, stay-at-home mom, like, as long as it works and the best interest for the husband and the wife and the kids, okay. I don't see nothing wrong with that.
Well, let me ask you this, though. Why do you think staying at home, being a stay-at-home dad, sometimes, it has kind of almost like a demeaning connotation to it? Like, if you're a stay-at-home father, sometimes people look down at you like, oh, you're not a real man. Why do you think that is? And do you agree with that, or like what? Like,
do I agree with what?
Like, do you think? Obviously, like y'all said, if the situation makes sense, but what if the situation didn't make sense? What if a guy? Let's say there's a family where, despite the fact that the husband made more money, whatever, he was still the stay-at-home father because his wife wanted to work and she wanted to pursue her career and that sort of thing. Despite that, she was making less than him, whatever, but because she really was just so headstrong about pursuing her career and going up and that sort of thing. Is that something that you would be for, against it? How would you feel if your woman did that to you? Just kind of your thoughts.
Okay, that was kind of a long question of like...
Yeah, I know it's kind of back and forth, but...
Yeah, but I think... Okay, first of all, stay-at-home dads, I guess it's not really common, so that's why people really have an issue with it to begin with. And I think people that have a problem with that or look at it as like, whatever, like, oh, that guy's a simp just because he's doing this and that. Like, I mean, I think they're all stupid. Those type of people that have those type of opinions. Because at the end of the day, it's between that family. Everything that happens is within that house. So, like, I mean, you just have to do what's logical and what makes the most sense.
That's what matters.
That's what matters ultimately. So, and then you said if a man makes more money than the woman, but the woman is looking to pursue her career, and she kind of asked the man if he could stay home. I think that's cool for the time being, I guess, not long term, just because the man is making the most money. So I don't see how that would work out in the long run. But I mean, if there's a way around that things could work out, I mean, like I said, I still don't. But I just realistically though, I don't see how that would work. So unfortunately, that'd be that'd be a challenging one for me. But maybe.
I would say, just as long as it kind of like I was saying before, if they can like thrive off of what she's doing and her salary, then cool, and her benefits, cool. For me, that's. But I'd say another thing as well is she did just hold it down for like 9 months average. You know what I'm saying? Popped a baby out. Might not even be the first one. So
Right.
I wouldn't mind. I think that if that was what I was gonna do with my wife or my partner or whatever, that would need to be a conversation that happened before we got to that point, before like the birth. So that way, if I am working, then I know that all right, even if her salary isn't enough to do everything, that I can prepare for that. As something that that we're gonna do or talk about, because I think at the same time, as much as I know that I would want to like pursue my career, I can't ask someone else to always sacrifice theirs, at the same time. So I think I have to be willing to do that as well in the context of a relationship when it can happen. That's not always possible, and I feel like that for both sides. But yeah. But what about you? What do you think?
I think honestly, if you can make it work. I don't think you should sacrifice the family.